Does this work? Yeah. Hi, welcome everyone. So nice to see you all here. My name is Angermann. I'm the co-founder of Rarebyte, and I'll be talking about designing and producing games for live masses today. So to start with, what are games for live masses? Games for live masses, what I mean by that is games that are specifically designed to be played at big events like Gamescom, Paris Games Week, and they are designed in a way that they can be used to attract more people to a booth, not like a normal game that you would just exhibit and show to people, but a game that is specifically designed for clients that are maybe not in the games business or developers or publishers, but they want to attract more people and give away goodie bags and stuff like that. So yeah, this is games for live masses. And before we dive in, I'd like to give you a short overview about Rarebyte. What we do, we founded the company in 2006, and we're basically split into contract work. We do contract work for a lot of companies on all the major platforms, and one special thing is, as I said, games for live masses and events. Besides that, we do our own IP projects. Currently working on Seeds of Soul, which is also exhibited outside if you want to take a look. And also we have one event game outside if you want to check that out later. So let's start with a comparison about what makes event game different from like a normal game that you would play at home. A game that you will play at home, well, maybe it looks like this one here is not my setup, by the way, but it is like you play the game at home, can take as much time as you want to or need to. You can leave the game, you can get back to the game, play again, try again, and basically take all the time you need to just invest into your game and your experience. In contrast to that, games played at live events, they look like this. First you stand in a queue of like 50 or 100 people, then you wait like half an hour or maybe an hour to play the game, and then you have 1 minute to actually play the game, while a lot of people actually watch you play the game and maybe shout things at you, and then after 1 minute it's over, and then the next player is, and you can't get back to the game unless you want to queue again for like half an hour. So this is like the difference between those types of games. To give you an overview about our games that we've done for live events, there were a lot of different games actually over the years. So we've been working in this field for like the last 5 or 6 years, and the projects they are in a range from like a simple rock paper scissors thing, top right here, or Kinect Soccer, then like a dual game with dance mats, top here, and also this one lower right you can play outside. This is called Battle Pin, also with dance mats and steering wheels. And lower left is Pin Racer. This game we already showed it last year here, so some of you might recognize this one. And I'll take this later on as an example for showing a few design guidelines. So speaking of design guidelines, this is with all those projects, I want to give you like 5 design guidelines that we learned and developed over the years. And for that, as I said, I want to use Pin Racer as an example. And in one sentence, it's a hoverboard racing game supporting up to 4 players over the local network, played with balance boards, and it was developed in 2 months. So yeah, let's dive right into the design guideline number 1, which is very easy to understand. The game that you want to develop should be so easy to understand that people that have never seen the game before would go up to the stage and right from the very first second know what they should be doing and how the game actually, how the controls are and how the game should be played. And for Pin Racer, this is a shot of Pin Racer. We had balance boards, and also the learning curve in such a game should be like 0 to hero in just 1 minute, which is totally different from any game you would play at home. Also very important is to have simple instructions. What happens at an event is you have this queue and you have people that are promoting the game and helping people like in queue and then give out the goodie bags and stuff like that. And they need to be able to just say a few words that will instruct players what they need to do to play the game. So simple things like run or shake or something like that. For Pin Racer, this is actually interesting because the game is played in a way you're on a balance board, and it's like basically the steering is like on a snowboard. So we just lean in one direction, and then your hoverboard would just go into that direction. And we at the beginning we said, yeah, just lean left or right, and about 20 or 30% of the people they would just lean left or right, but as you're on the board like this, it's like left is just forward actually, and right is backwards. So we just said lean forwards backwards, which is then correct because you would do this like on a snowboard. So yeah, take care about your instructions that you give to your promoters. Next design guideline or design pillar is competition. Competition is basically what we decided here is to have competitive mechanics for all those kind of games, because what you want to have is like 1 minute of gameplay that is very intense for the players, so that they have like an intense minute where they play the game, and also for people that watch the game, it should be interesting and funny to watch. So we decided it should be competitive all the time, which means multiplayer, of course, even sometimes over the local network, like with Pin Racer, or local multiplayer on one machine. And also, we decided to have no draws. We would always have a winner, and that's because our clients, they want to have a winner that they want to give the premium goodie bag, and the second place would get another goodie bag, which is not that good. So no draws, always a winner. Design pillar number 3 would be input devices and controllers should be uncommon. We decided to have games that use devices that you maybe don't have at home, or most of the people don't have them at home, like balance boards, big quiz buzzers, also gyros and dance mats. And this is, on the one hand, it is cool to watch people play games that use such devices, because there's some action there. It's not the action on the screen, but also people are moving and shouting and just making fun of each other, and that's also nice to watch. And on the other hand, if you use devices that people are not that used to, you can actually leverage the skill. So there would, of course, there would be players that get into that a little bit faster than others, but the skill is some kind of leverage. It's not like you have typical, I don't know, first-person shooter player that plays like 8 hours a day, and then you have some guy that does not, and yeah, then there is like an imbalance. So if you use those devices, you can leverage that a bit. And talking about player skill, actually, is our next design guideline. You have to have something in the game that you can catch up. So for Pin Racer, what we did is, if you're behind someone, you can actually like control your board to be, I'll just play this again. Yeah. on this trail of the other player, and then you would get a boost, like a catch-up mechanic. Because what we want to have is an intense match or a run of the game where it is not clear, like after 20 seconds, that this player will win or the other will win. It should be like a head-to-head, and we had that in Pin Racer. We had matches where, like in the last 5 seconds of the run, they would change like 2 or 3 times because we had this mechanic in there, and we also had rockets that you can pick up and then shoot at other players that would slow them down. So this was an additional thing. And now we get to number 5. Number 5 is live audience. And it's also different because at home you would probably not have a live audience of like 100 people or so. Maybe some friends watching, but not like a big crowd that's still waiting to play the game. So this design pillar would be entertain the audience. And what we did in Pin Racer and some other games would have like a really big screen that shows it's like a spectator of the game that shows in this case the race from a different kind of perspective, like it was I don't know, like on TV, like they have a race on TV and then there's like different camera angles, and also who's leading and all the highlights, and we will also have replay there, so you could just, while you wait and then people change or players change, then we would have a replay of the last run, and all the people that are waiting in line, they can watch this on a big screen. They will get to know the game actually, which is also a thing that you want to cue to learn a little bit about your game while they wait. It's not only entertainment but also learning. But you have to take care that you don't spoil anything there. So you, for example, maybe a dumb example, but you can't use like the puzzle game mechanics where the solution is shown on the big screen because it wouldn't make sense. So this is one thing that you need to take care of. And for Pin Racer, this solution with the spectator worked pretty well. We're actually continuing to use that in some other games. And yeah, that were my 5 design pillars for our live event games. And I think that's about it. For all of you that are interested in following us to learn how we work, we also do development streams on Twitch. So this not about the event games, but our own Seeds of Soul IP. But if you want to get to know more about what we do there and how our production works, feel free to drop by and say hi. And yeah, that's it, and thank you very much.
One question, maybe? Can you shout, please?
About the game for the live action, are you also like, are you going into like stores or like the App Store afterwards? So are you also considering that those games then be played afterwards by single people, or are it just for the audience?
Can you repeat the question? I'll repeat the question. If the game should like go into app stores or some other kind of where you can just buy the game and then we would play it at home too. No, actually those games are specifically designed to just be played at events, and also like all of those games are like branded for whatever client it is, and it's not that you put those games up for sale. It also wouldn't make that much sense because the gameplay it is all tailored to be a 1 minute 0 to 0 thing, and you wouldn't play that at home that much. So this is specifically designed to be played at events only, where you have this waiting crowd and like this kind of where you need a high frequency through a booth actually.
Is there other questions in the break? We're already running out of time. So this next speaker. So thanks again, Rainer.